Hello everyone and welcome to the Trade Ideas live trading room recap for Thursday, May the 23rd. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Any questions you may have, you can use this email address. This is a link to get into our 100% free trading room. You do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas to be in our room. And I open the room every morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. That's when I start to share my screen. I get live on the mic at about 9:05, and I go up to 3:30 Mondays to Thursdays and up to 3 o'clock on Fridays. In the email you're getting, you'll see a promo code for 15% off the first month or the entire year of a Trade Ideas subscription. Okay, well, another interesting day. Look at the market right there. So the market had gapped down. This is pre-market, so it had already gapped down and is continuing lower. As we speak, we're down about 430 on the Dow. So it looked like it was trying to put in a little bit of a recovery here. And that would have been awesome to play a lot of bounces, some stocks that were beaten up early and then play, nice long recovery day, but not to be. It was very short-lived, and now the market is continuing down. Of course, China and, it's infrastructure and, all the stuff that's going on. But anyway, that does not prevent us from finding things to trade, of course. And Shoe Carnival was by far my best trade. Let's just see what happened here. So Shoe Carnival is an earnings play. Not very many earnings plays, but this is an earnings play, and you can see this. They released earnings after hours yesterday. That's what the mauve area is. So here's where it closed, normal market hours. They released earnings. There was a reaction, and then woke up this morning. Actually, didn't really see. I don't think I really saw this one. It maybe the volume was a little bit lighter. It wasn't down as much, but at any rate, didn't really see it too much in the pre-market. I don't have it listed in my pre-market. But once the market opened, you can see it had a little bit of a pop, not a little bit, had a nice big pop, almost got back to the close of yesterday. And this is why I don't like trading in the first 15 minutes. You get these, you can get sometimes, this is not maybe as dramatic, but sometimes you'll get like huge bottoming tails, topping tails, and trying to decide which way it's going to go. So that's why I typically like to sit out the first 15 minutes. And eventually it started to fall down. And I ended up taking this trade just underneath that whole number. I love that. It broke down. There was a low in the pre-market, I think. I didn't wait for that, but I took the trade right here, 28.86. That was on the short. Now, this was, it looks a lot easier on this 15, but, it's a low float situation. There are only 12 million shares in the float. And so I was probably within a couple of pennies to covering it because it was getting closer to getting back over that 29 mark. And, that's what I did not want to happen. Excuse me, because remember what it did on that opening candle. Who knows? It could have just zoomed right up, especially with only 12 million in the float. Anyway, the good news is that I was able to hold on, and I did cover some right there at 28.60. I covered some more down here at 28.42, and it kept sinking. Now, it started whipping around a little bit, and I covered the balance just over 28. I think it was on this, it was at 28.04. And unfortunately, I think it was on that candle right there. And unfortunately, or it might have been that candle even, I can't remember anymore. But man, it really kept moving down. And now, put a bit of a pop, but it still looks really weak. But anyway, that was a really good trade for me. I know a lot of people in the room took it. And again, it's one of these situations. It's funny, we're not in earnings season really, and we're still getting a number of companies releasing earnings, but a lot of them now are a little more obscure. Not that Shoe Carnival is totally obscure, excuse me, but we're starting to get some very low price ones. So actually, it's interesting because when you do get one, most people know this one, certainly in the room, you can kind of zero in on it. You don't have 50 to pick from. You only have about 2 or 3 name ones to pick from. So anyway, that worked out very well. I actually took a short in this Cloudera also. And I'm still in this one, modestly working. In fact, I might be getting out of it now. Cloudera is, with the market being so weak, I took the short, I think it was 976, right about here. Close enough. Covered some at 963, and you might think, well, that's not that great. And you're right. I mean, on a pure dollar basis, it's not that great. Covered some right there. Where are you? Right there. But I had about a 3-cent stop on that. I was not going to let this get to the 80s. So consequently, and so I must have taken it right on that candle there. In fact, yeah, that would have been it on that candle there. It moved down, and now, yeah, it's basically right where I shorted it. But on a risk-reward basis, with about a 3-cent stop and with a 13-cent gain, that's about a 4-to-1. So anyway, it worked out okay. I mean, nothing spectacular. I actually, when I mentioned this in the room, I kind of said, I'm looking more like a scalp on this one, which is, and I said if it got to the low 60s, I'd probably take some out, which is exactly what I did. It's basically a lifetime low. I mean, there's no support for this, but it didn't really drop as much. Once this happened, I mean, it made the big drop there. Didn't really make that much of a drop, and yet I was watching the market cruise down. So anyway, that was, and the other one that I took, actually, never mind that. Look at, show you a couple of the Hollies. It's funny, if you were in the Q&A yesterday, that Dan was talking about AXSM quite a bit with all the buys that Holly had. Buy. Actually, there were more. I guess it was on another Holly version. But finally, though, Holly has a stop in place on this one. The stop was at the short, 25.77 on the short. And let me get to the 15-minute. So there was the short, 25.77 right there. There was a stop. It didn't come even close to it. And look where it got all the way down to 23.53 from 25.77. Now, I'm not saying you could have got in right at that point and got out at that point, but that would be almost $2.50. So very, very nice. And it may not be done. This might be just a brief pull up, and who knows? Maybe it'll resume. But a very nice call. Not very many calls from Holly today, but a very nice call for that one. And one that is not too bad. I'm just looking here. Age 268, 279 now, and you can see. I mean, it's got lots of room, lots and lots of room. So that one. And the other one that worked for a while was the Pure Storage. On a bounce. 1570, and it hit 1606. So not bad. But definitely, the star of the day from Holly was AXSM, and not much more to say. And it is called Selling Strength. It came from the Selling Strength. So I don't know if it's selling strength on, the overall outlook of it or just on the daily. I'm really not sure. It might have been just saying, enough is enough. On this daily chart, we had a big run. And finally saying, it's almost like a reversion to the mean type of a trade. Anyway, that is about it. Can't wait to get back into the room. I think there's still some more exciting things happening. Have to see how this market, if it continues down. Energy has just been beaten up. There's so many energy sector stocks that are just moving down, down, down. So, we'll have to keep an eye on the energy stocks, even later on in the day. Or who knows, maybe the market puts in a rally and we get, like for me, a rally, this wasn't bad. At least it's 45 minutes of something that's moving up. The only problem is you didn't get like a big wide candle. So the rally was short-lived. It was short-lived, but, in terms of the actual dollar move. But nonetheless, you never know. We might get another one, and maybe we get 3 or 4 or 5 15-minute candles in a row to give us some kind of bounce play. So I want to just bring back the capture program and just remind you, if you have any questions for me, this is the email address you can use. This is the link for our free room, and I will open the room tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern. So I hope everybody has a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.